as I mentioned earlier, we have a few guests with us this morning, and as I mentioned, this young man is an inspiration. I was thoroughly impressed when I met him at the Women's Success League down in Cobbs Creek. So shout out to Coach Mo for inviting me to that and giving me the opportunity to meet Brandon and his mother Brandy and Tamika are all here. So
it's a family affair up there.
Family affair, that's right. Turns out my partner is very close to these people. And that's a beautiful thing. That makes this interview, this time on the air, even better. Now, before I get to them, as always, Bob, today in sports history. In 1987, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was held to only 7 points in a game, establishing a record of 787 straight games with double-digit points.
The greatest of all time, baby.
It's a lot of points, man. It's a lot of games to score double digits.
Always remember that. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the greatest. Don't let nobody.
And number 2 is Will. Remember that. Remember you got that from us.
I'll give you the stats on that.
Second, in 1997, the NBA suspends Latrell Sprewell of the Golden State Warriors for 1 year for choking and threatening to kill his coach, P.J. Carlesimo.
This is why I can't coach people.
Absolutely. Because they will drive you crazy.
Nobody choking me.
I'm going to beat somebody down. And I'm going to have to apologize to some parents for beating their kid down. Because like you said, boy, ain't nobody choking me.
Ain't nobody choking me.
If somebody get choked out, this won't be the both of us. But I always say, if I got to fight, we going to be in the ambulance together. We going to the hospital together. And finally, also in 1997, Barry Sanders of the Detroit Lions set an NFL record when he rushed for over 100 yards in 12 consecutive games. It's a lot of games.
Yeah.
A lot of games. Now, folks, usually, you know, we get to our scores, recap NFL week, and we will get to that a little bit later on in the show. But we have a guest here, and before we get into our interview, I was going to do this, but now that we have him here, Brandon, say hello to the people. Introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Brandon Ross, and I'm 9 years old.
Cool. Now, folks,
He's
bear with us. He's a little shy. He's a little nervous.
Shy.
I think this is his first radio interview. So it is our pleasure to be the ones to do his first radio interview, and hopefully this will bring about more interviews and more radio interviews or more national interviews, because we are you got two more supporters right now with us, 3 actually, myself, Baldy, and the radio station, Heat 100 Radio. So you got some more family on your side.
Yes, sir.
Now, what I need you to do for me now, before we get into this, is I need you to let everybody know what it is that you do, why you do it, and how it came about.
Okay. Well, first I'm gonna tell them what I do. So I make basketball bracelets to buy books to put in barbershops and beauty salons, because every week I go to the barbershop and there's no books there, and I'm usually just bored.
Yeah.
And well, it started when my bishop said, find something that you love and create it into a business. So when I got home, I asked my mom if we can make bracelets, make basketball bracelets, because I like to play basketball and I like to wear the rubber bands that be on your arm. So me and my mom, we looked online and saw some nice beads, and I asked my mom if she could buy them. She said they cost too much. And that's when I went upstairs and got the money and gave it to her.
Go ahead.
So that's when the bracelets the beads came. So then we just started making them.
Cool. So what made you decide on basketball bracelets?
Well, well, I like basketball because my dad, he used to watch basketball a lot, and I got into it. So when I got older, my dad, he like usually took me outside and practiced in the backyard with our basketball court.
Okay.
Cool. Now, how long have you been a lover of reading?
Ever since I read a good book.
Do you remember the first book you ever read?
Wisdom beyond his years.
Do you remember the first book you ever read?
Probably like in kindergarten.
So that's a beautiful thing, and I want to commend you for that, for being a reader, because my son, same age, 9 years old, he's a reader, and he loves to read, and he's now getting more into basketball. So you guys have a lot in common, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a great thing that you're doing, because we need our kids to read, our youth in general. We need them to read more, because the old cliche saying, African American society, you know how they hide stuff from us, they put it in a book. Because people, they say that African American kids and us don't read.
You know, I'm having a flashback here, man. I remember being a kid, being in the barbershop, sitting in the barbershop, and you weren't even allowed to talk.
Absolutely.
The grown folks talked about basketball and
That's
talked
right.
about whatever. And the minute you tried to say something, boy, shut up, you're a kid, be quiet.
Yep.
You know, so it's
you don't
like,
know what you're talking about.
yeah, you don't know what you're talking about, boy. You 8 years old. What, you ain't live. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it's kind of weird how, you know, I've owned the barbershop since 1998. And I remember kids being in the shop and just like, you know, guess playing with a toy they might have had or anything. And I remember one guy coming in our shop selling books. They were all like early tales of all like black people, African people, and it was his. Like he illustrated it, and
Wow.
and I have not found this dude. That was 10 years ago. I have not found this dude. I've been looking for this dude for about 10 years.
Wow.
Cannot find him. And we bought some, gave them to people in the shop, and I thought that it was just a good thing to have in there because, I mean, we had a bunch of sports magazines,
Right.
but nothing was really in there for kids to read, you know what I mean? Nobody want to read the Jet. You're a kid, you don't read the Jet, you know what I mean?
You know,
And then after a while, you know, kids kind of like, you know, they're street, they'll read anything.
yeah.
You just gotta initiate that contact of giving them something to read. So, you know, I commend you, man. I mean, I think that what you're doing is something that should be. And it's a million salons. It's a million barbershops. You are the perfect area to do exactly what you're doing. So I commend you, man.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I wish I'd have came up with that idea.
Like I said, folks, you can see in all the posts that I posted leading up to this, I kept reiterating that I was impressed and intrigued. And listening to him now, you can understand why I felt that way. And if you don't feel that way, it's something wrong with you.
Yeah, right. Right.
It's something wrong with you if you don't feel that way.
Right.
So, Brandon, let me ask you, why do you feel it's important for kids to read?
Well, because I think it's important to me for kids to read because I think kids can really like books a lot and can really read more. Because if you read a book and you know like it, you might want to read more and stuff.
Absolutely.
Now, do you think you ever write a book yourself?
I tried sometimes, but I just stopped.
I'm gonna tell you
Listen,
the best way
save all
that you can.
everything that you wrote, save it.
Yeah.
Because that's how,
What do you call it? A paragraph a day?
paragraph a day. But that's how, if you don't know, that's how some of the best books come out. That's how some of the best songs come out. People start jotting stuff down and forget about it and come back to it. If you've ever seen the movie 5 Heartbeats,
The greatest movie of all time.
that one scene when Robert Townsend is in the bedroom with his sisters and he's thinking of the song and he's all over the place. But once he found everything, that song came together.
We haven't finished yet. That was the name of the song.
Right. You haven't finished it.
It's my favorite joint.
And
I'll
it's
tell you, I
perfect.
know that movie.
And look,
Yeah.
the title fit. It was
Mhm.
the perfect scenario, the perfect scene for that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just do, like I said, just do a paragraph a day. You know, you're gonna get inspiration probably in your dreams. That's when it comes. When your brain is resting, that's when imagination kicks in. When you wake up and there's something on your mind or you find an idea during the course of the day, write it down. You never know when you're going to use that idea again. Write it down, have a book, a journal, put it in there.